Have you ever found yourself lost in a sea of text and numbers during a presentation, when suddenly the speaker uses a striking image to make their point and it all just becomes clear? Visual metaphors are like shortcuts for the brain. They use pictures to explain big ideas in a way that sticks with us, making complicated things simpler and more relatable. Imagine turning a complex concept into an image or a scene from everyday life. Suddenly, it becomes easier to understand and remember. It's a superpower for sharing ideas that makes sure what you say doesn't just fly over people's heads, but really lands and stays there. Visual metaphors represent ideas or concepts, making them more relatable and easy to understand. They bridge the gap between the familiar and the unknown, simplifying complex information. For example, to illustrate growth in ad spend return on investment is the image of a baby tree sapling growing into a huge oak tree. This metaphor, whilst often overused, is a simple metaphor that not only captures the essence of growth, but also emphasizes the potential long-term yield from a well-nurtured beginning. Selecting the right metaphor involves understanding your key message and the common experiences or knowledge shared by your audience. The metaphor should illuminate, not complicate your point. Let's look at our quarterly digital marketing update presentation. Our key message is protecting $1 million of revenue. We want our CMO to feel both safe that the money can be protected and excited that it's a significant amount. Instead of delving into technical jargon or data or numbers, we can display an image of a man holding a lock, strong, impenetrable, and reliable. This connects to money and revenue as well as protection. It's a great fit for a visual metaphor. The visual metaphor instantly conveys the concept of safety, security, and trustworthiness, making the topic accessible and memorable. We want the CMO to remember that you can help make $1 million safe and secure for the company. When we add it to our presentation, we want it to be subtle and not too obvious. Once I've chosen the image, I put it on the slide, we can make it 70 to 80% transparent, so our message of $1 million remains the hero, but the subtle message of the safe and secure is there. Visual metaphors are a powerful tool in making your presentations not just seen, but also felt and remembered. They simplify complex concepts, making them more relatable and memorable. Now, take this knowledge and look at your presentation through the lens of visual metaphors. What images come to mind when you consider your key messages? To get you started, I've created a library of metaphors that you can download in the exercise files. Imagine you're climbing a steep hill. Your legs are burning. You're out of breath. And just when you think you can't go any further, you reach a flat stretch. You catch your breath, take in the scenery, regain your energy, and brace yourself for what's next. In the world of presentations, breather slides are that flat stretch. They're your audience's moment to catch their breath and process what they've just been told. But here's the issue. Most presentations are a relentless uphill climb, packed with data, ideas, and arguments, without that crucial resting spot. The result? Overwhelmed and disengaged audiences. So think about the power of a pause. A breather slide is a strategically placed within your presentation to give your audience a moment of relief from a continuous flow of information. It can be a simple image, a quote, a question, or even a blank slide. My personal preference is for a blank slide with just your logo in the middle. This really gives a sense of pause, of stillness. If you pause your talking as well for 2 seconds and then say something like, "I covered a lot just now. How's all that sitting with you? What questions do you have for me?" By the way, as an aside, try not to ask, "Do you have any questions?" as it's a closed yes or no answer. By switching to "What questions do you have for me?" it will stimulate more conversation. Then give some space for people to talk. Resist the temptation to move on if no one speaks immediately. Have the confidence to keep the silence for more than a couple of seconds. It takes time for people to think of questions or to gather their thoughts. If no one talks after 5 seconds, you can say, I want to give people the time to discuss this. Anyone wants to start us off? And then go quiet again. If after another few seconds still no one has spoken, then move on. If you are nervous and have a habit of talking too fast, the breather slide is also super powerful at enabling you to reset and take a breather. Start off slow when you talk after the breather slide. Also, use this pause to take a sip of water if you need. The other option you could have on a breather slide is to have your North Star message on it. This is a smart way to use repetition to make it sticky with your audience. Think about the presentation you want to create. Where could you incorporate a breather slide? Take this knowledge and see how you can integrate these powerful pauses to make your presentations unforgettable.